literally. Hello everyone, it is Kristen, also known as Coco on the internet. Welcome to the Quirky Girl Trope, my utopia where I talk about all things pop culture and media that I am hyper-focused on, and today we are talking about some of my recent watches. Before this video, I uploaded a One Tree Hill early season breakdown where I go through seasons 1 through 3 about the hit TV drama classic show One Tree Hill. Got a few people upset with that one, but it was fun nonetheless, and I'll be doing a whole series on it, so go and check that out. And if you want to keep up with me on the socials outside of the videos, you can go ahead and check me out on my socials. And for the sake of this video, go ahead and follow me on Letterboxd if you want very unserious but sometimes serious but sometimes quick reviews of the films that I'm watching. Yes, I say films now because I'm a cinephile. That's just how it goes. And if you really want to support, you will hit the subscribe button, but I'm not going to press you or anything, but it would be nice if you hit the subscribe button. But if not, it's okay. We're going to talk about some of my recent watches. I am not a serious movie reviewer, film reviewer, okay? I am here just for a good time, not a long time. I'm having fun. The only reason why I even have a Letterboxd account is because I found out about the app and I wanted to rate Renaissance by Beyonce, a film by Beyonce, and I was going to give my 5 stars and leave. Then something came over me the last year. Maybe it was because I knew I was going to start this channel. Maybe it was just because I was feeling very Tumblr-like. And I wanted to see if I could keep a diary of the media that I was consuming. I was a very casual watcher of films last year. This year, I don't know what is in the sauce, but I have been going to the movies so much. I've been watching so many classic films I never seen before, a lot of recent film, and I wanted to be in the conversation, so I've been watching some new films that came out this year. So we're gonna go ahead and discuss a few of these movies that I have watched the last couple of months, and I'm gonna be giving my opinion on them, my rating. I'll try to keep everything spoiler free because I do think some of these movies are things that you have to go and watch, and my opinion is really just my opinion. I mean, I hope you care about it. I'm not gonna lie, I am a tough reviewer. If I don't like something, I'm not gonna like it, and you are gonna see with some of my ratings for this movie. I think some people are gonna say that I'm crazy, but if I don't like it, I don't like it. I am very particular. I mean, if you look at my top 4 movies on Letterboxd, I think that it pretty much sums up the things that I like. Enough yapping though. Let's talk about cinema. Heda, Nia DaCosta. Heda finds herself torn between the lingering ache of a past love and the quiet suffocation of her present life. I surprisingly enjoyed Heda, and I'm only saying surprisingly because every time I see a Prime sticker on a film, it turns out I'm actually going to hate it. Black Bag, I'm looking at you, and we don't even have to talk about the War of the Worlds situation. I even tried to give Sylvie's Love a chance, and that was mid. It's just every time that Amazon sticker was on something, I'm just not liking it. And it turned out all I needed was Nia DaCosta's pin. Now, apparently this film is based off of a play. I've never seen the play. I don't know anything about the play. All I know is I really enjoyed this movie. I think Tessa Thompson is amazing in this film. I enjoyed her so much. She plays up the camera. Even when she's not on camera as Heda, who is a very frustrating character, you still want to see what she's doing because you think with the way that she's acting, something is going on. I also have to give 10s to Nina Hoss because she is my favorite part of this movie. I mean, we don't even have to talk about how the body is matcha, the body is tea. The costuming for this movie was pretty cute. I think obviously Nina Hoss's character had the best costume in the whole entire thing. That's another reason why I think this movie surprisingly was good to me because the budget is clearly $2. The mansion looked achievable even though it was supposed to be some historical big grand thing. The costuming was like, were we in a different period? I don't know. But what is really good about this movie is the dialogue, the score, the way this film is played around with. I didn't know if this was a horror thriller, if it was just people talking. I didn't know what was going on at some point because it was so interesting. I think this film is so interesting, not only because of the plot and where things lead and who Heda is and what she represents, but I also think it's just interesting choices in this movie, and not in a weird derogatory way, but in a I'm interested in why this was chosen and I like the choice. Without the performances we got, without the interesting push and pull of this film, I just don't think it would be anything special. But because of those things, because of those intentional choices and the second guessing of everything and who Heda is, what she's doing, what's happening, it just made it really, really interesting to me, and I enjoyed it. I think this was such a particular film to take on, and at the end of the day, I think it worked. The performances were great. Again, the budget was 2 cents. The budget was 2 cents, and you can tell, but it did not matter because I was locked into what the characters were doing. I was locked into the acting. Gotta give it up for good sapphic antics. You know, I just really enjoyed that. It was really good. I watched this 2 times. Not once, but twice. That means that I really, really enjoyed it. It was almost like the first time I watched it, I was like, The second time I watched it, I said, okay, yeah, I really enjoyed this. And guess what? I think this is going in my rotation when it gets to the more fall times. I really, really liked it. 4 stars. After the Hunt, Luca Guadagnino. A college professor finds herself at a personal and professional crossroad when a star student levels an accusation against one of her colleagues, threatening to expose a dark secret from her own past. After the Hunt, all right. This one was a little bit iffy because everyone talked about how this movie was not getting a lot of praise. It came out and the Rotten Tomatoes score wasn't as high as everyone thought it would be. I mean, it has all the recipes that a girl like me would enjoy. It has Julia Roberts. It has Andrew Garfield. It has Iowa Debris. Julia Roberts is mother. Iowa Debris is my sister. Andrew Garfield is one of my kingies. I enjoy all 3 of them. And to have them in a film together, that's just a dream of mine. Now, the scary part was Mr. Luca, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't enjoy a lot of his films. I think the only film that I've genuinely enjoyed from him is Challengers. I guess I'll also throw in Call Me By Your Name, which I don't think was so horrible, but I don't know if that film makes me comfy, so that's why I have a problem with that one. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of his work, so that was the scary part for me. For some reason, everyone on film Twitter, everyone who talked about this film said it's just not that good. It's not as good as everybody thought it would be. And all I have to say after watching it is y'all were being dramatic. It is not that bad. This movie is not that bad. It is actually way more bearable than the trailer made it seem. The trailer had me scared because it gave that this was going to be some weird thing about assault with a Black woman and she was lying and all of that. That's not really what it is. It's just an unnecessary film. I don't think that it's bad. I just think it's unnecessary. I think this is so Gen X coded. Julia Roberts' character is so Gen X coded. I think the writing is so Gen X coded. The reason I say this film is not that bad, number one, Julia Roberts is acting her ass off. I mean, come on, she's Queenie, she's mother. We already knew this. She is acting her ass off. And I realized after watching this, I miss seeing Julia Roberts in films. I low-key want to go back into her catalog and watch some films that I've never watched before because she was acting and I forgot, yeah, that's Julia fucking Roberts. Another thing I think this film does well is sort of playing with the idea that a perfect victim isn't real. A perfect victim is sort of unattainable. That's all in Iowa Debris' character, which I'm gonna say my piece now. I love Iowa Debris. I think that I enjoy her very much. But I will say after seeing this, I think I'm okay with Iowa Debris just doing comedy. I don't think I enjoy her as much in series films. I loved Bottoms. I adore Bottoms. If I could get another comedy like that, I would be so happy. Really like Opus. It was kind of mid. Also, her performance, I really was just there to see her face card and the outfits and her hair, which were amazing. And usually that's what I'm showing up for when she's in something that's not a comedy. But it's kind of different with The Bear because I enjoy her performance in The Bear and I think that's more dramedy. But for some reason, her performance in this film wasn't the strongest to me, which was really disappointing because she's acting with Julia Roberts. But see, I think if they do a comedy together, together or like a dramedy together, it would have been a whole different situation. So please, I need to see Julia Roberts and Io Debris in something that makes sense. Andrew Garfield was really good as the charismatic kind of asshole in this movie. Again, I really don't have anything to say about this film that's really mind-blowing. I don't have anything that really matters to say about this film. I think that this is just a Gen Xer trying to wrap their head around the fact that this new generation or this new climate or environment is made for people to not just shy away from things like racism and assault. This isn't really giving anything away, but they made Io Debris' character a wealthy, trust fund, Nepo baby. And because of that, they sort of excused a lot. I don't know if I liked that element of her character because it gave away the excuse for them to be weird, which I guess is the point. This film is very uncomfortable. I will say that. And I think it was meant to be. I think it's actually described to be uncomfortable. And I definitely felt that. It's just not as bad as everyone made it out to be. It is watchable. It is, I don't know if it's enjoyable, but I do think you get something out of it. I thought the ending before the epilogue, there's an epilogue in this film that is so unnecessary, but the ending before the epilogue, I think it showed range, and Julia Roberts' character is terrible, but I think that ending really showed the perspective of this film, which is what happens when people who are comfortable with how things have been, which things have not been good. Okay, it was never great. What happens when they have to deal with somebody kind of disrupting that comfortability? And also, what do relationships mean, and what do those relationships kind of result in when something as serious as assault comes up? Also, the push and play of power dynamics, no matter if it's wealth, if it's boss employee, if it's teacher student, what does that power look like in the hands of certain people? It's like, I get it, but it's unnecessary. A lot of the stuff in this film is so unnecessary, including the wig that they put on Chloe 7A. It was actually harmful to my eyes. It was disrespectful to put that on Mother. But yeah, I don't think that this film was terrible. I don't think that it was anything groundbreaking. I didn't walk away with a new perspective or feeling a certain way. I just kind of walked away annoyed, which I don't know if that was the point, but it just seemed like things started getting a little bit too, I don't know. I also think this movie is too long. I think it's too long for what was happening. I also think some of the things that took place was just a little bit unrealistic. And at times it kind of felt mockery-like to what people who are Gen Z go through, or who are a younger millennial go through. But I guess that was the point, to make us uncomfortable and to think about the circumstances of, I'm gonna be honest, I don't care to even get that deep with this. It's not anything crazy like that. I don't care, but I don't think it's as bad as people made it out to be. 3 stars. It was mid. The Roses. J. Roach. Life seems easy for picture perfect couple Theo and Ivy. Successful careers, a loving marriage, great kids. However, a tinderbox of fierce competition and hidden resentments soon emerge when Theo's career nosedives and Ivy's own ambitions take off. I love fun. Don't you love fun? I mean, nobody wants to have fun these days. There are plenty of movies that I enjoy that have a low rating on Letterboxd, and this is actually one of them. It has a mid rating on Letterboxd, and I could give 2 fucks. This is one of those films that are just made for me. This is exactly made for me. First of all, I love Olivia Colman. She is one of my favorite actresses of all time. I also enjoy Benedict Cumberbatch. I think that he is a great Doctor Strange, and I think he's charming. So I've always loved them. I've always loved their acting, and I think that this is just a fun movie. Why can't serious actors have a little fun? And this one is a comedy, kind of action, not really, but kind of cute pairing. I just think it was so fun. I enjoy seeing them go back and forth. This is really for the people who I think enjoy them as actors and want to see them have a good time. Say the plot is the best. It has a few like, okay girl, we're getting silly, but who doesn't love a silly goose time? And they're acting. It doesn't matter what Olivia Colman is in. It could be the most silliest, goofiest thing, and she is still giving us a performance that deserves something. When the emotion is present, the emotion hits, and that is why she gets the big bucks. That is why she has an Oscar. Also, I thought that their chemistry was so good. I didn't feel like it was awkward or anything, but there is a surprise. There's a standout actor in this movie, and it is actually not the performances of Olivia or Benedict. The standout performance in this film is Kate McKinnon. This movie has a few little side characters, and Kate McKinnon plays one of them, and all I can say is she had me dying. She is my favorite part of this film. Obviously, I'm going to rewatch it. I enjoyed it very much. I thought that it was so adorable. I love the aspect. The ending is so good. The ending is so good because it's just a just because ending. I love a just because. Just because it's a movie, that's going to be the ending. And I absolutely adored it. I thought it was so cute. Two of my favorite actors doing funny, cute things. How could I be mad? How could I hate it? Also, Olivia Colman's character is a chef, and there's just one thing I love, and that is movies, films, animation around food. I don't know why that's a thing for me, but I hyper focus on that, so it's really just up my alley. Made for me 4 stars. The Woman in Cabin 10. Simon Stone. On a lavish yacht for an assignment, a journalist sees a passenger go overboard, but when no one believes her, she risks her life to uncover the truth. What a terrible movie. This movie is terrible, which is something you obviously would not want with Keira Knightley coming out of her cave, even though these days I wish she would have stayed in so she can keep that mouth shut. But nonetheless, I was watching this because I wanted to see what she was going to give us. She gave us something, but this movie gave me nothing. This movie is a joke. I'm gonna be honest. The plot is just not there. It's just nonsense. This movie works better if it is a horror film, and that's exactly what I thought it was going to be, and instead I just got a thriller full of fucking nonsense. It was terrible. I did not enjoy this movie. I did not enjoy any of the performances. Keira Knightley is very mid in this movie. She's not really giving us anything but grimacing looks in the distance of the sea. I don't buy any of the relationships in this movie. I don't buy the big reveal. It's just really bad, and it would have worked better as a scary movie. This is also a film who looks like the budget was $2. I literally have nothing else to say about it because there's nothing to talk about. This was just a terrible movie. I gave it a 1.5. The Long Walk. Francis Lawrence. Teens participate in a grueling high-stakes contest where they must continuously walk or be shot by a member of their military escort. I don't want to upset people about my takes with this movie because I know a lot of folks enjoyed this film. This film is based off of a Stephen King novel. I have not read this novel, so I don't know everything about it, but all I'm going to say is, did I enjoy this film? Absolutely. But do I have questions? I do. And the reason I enjoy this film is actually not because of the main 2 performers. Number one, I have things to say. The reason I enjoyed this film is not because of the main performances. It's not because of the writing. It is because of one thing, and that is the supporting cast. I thought the side characters were so interesting. Everyone was acting their ass off except one person. And I hate to be nasty. I really do. I really do. I wanted to like his performance, but David Johnson does an accent in this film. He does a Southern accent. And when I tell you the accent was so bad, I could not get immersed at all. Every time he raised his voice, his British accent would literally come out, which just always makes me question, is there no Black American actors that y'all can get? I don't know. Maybe he was the best for the part. In my opinion, I don't think he added anything to the film. I thought that Cooper Hoffman did okay. He got me emotional a little bit with one scene, but I do think that I enjoyed the journey this film takes me on. I don't don't know if I enjoy the ending. I also don't know if I enjoy some of the aspects that happen throughout the journey that they go on. I don't know if the book is any better, but I did see people talking about the magical Negro trope happening and everyone kind of going back and forth where it's like, no, because the ending is what it is. In my opinion, I do think that I am raising my brow at some of the choices. After further research, my suspicion was right because it turns out David Johnson's character is actually white in the book, and that makes so much more sense to me. I think them making him a black man in the film adaptation adds a more prominent context to it, to where you just can't be careless with some of the things that are being done. Some of the actions that the character does in the film kind of just adds to that controversy that people are talking about. And that's simply because existing in a black body adds those context. So yeah, I definitely think they should have stuck to the book. My suspicions weren't completely off. I think that there is a lot sacrificed in this film that doesn't make sense to me, but I'm gonna let them have it. I don't know. I really enjoyed the journey of the side characters. For me, the standout performance in this film is actually from someone who is not a main character. It's actually, I hope I'm not butchering their name, but Tut Nuot. They were the standout performance for me. I enjoyed his performance so much. He had me locked in from the beginning. He's sort of like the side buddy character. It was kind of predictable what happens to him was gonna happen. I just really enjoyed him. I thought his accent was way more believable and realistic than David's was, and I just really fell in love with him throughout the whole entire film, and I just thought he was so incredible. I thought the whole freaking cast was good, minus, a few incidents. I thought it was okay. It's not my favorite film. The way some people talk about this film is definitely not how I talk about this film, but I do think it got me. It was very emotional because you go on this grueling journey with a bunch of characters that you end up falling in love with because it's almost like you spend as much time with them as they do on the long walk. Very emotional movie. I don't know if it's as stunning as some people make it out to be. 3 stars. Bugonia. Yargos Lanthimos. 2 conspiracy-obsessed men kidnap the CEO of a major company when they become convinced that she's an alien who wants to destroy Earth. Bugonia. I thought that I was really going to enjoy this one, and it ended up being sort of a disappointment. I don't think that this film is bad. I've actually watched it twice. My first watch, I was pissed. Okay, I gave it a 2 star. I was pissed. I bumped it up a little bit because I watched it twice now, and the second time I gave it a little bit more time. I let it breathe. I took in more things about the characters, about what was going on. I know that this is developed from a foreign film or something like that, and I got a little bit more information about it and gave it more of an open mind, and it still is not it's still not what I want or what I was looking for or what I thought it was going to be. I also think it was just me having expectations for this film because I just recently for the first time watched Poor Things, and I think that that's a masterpiece. I think that Emma Stone deserved her Oscar for that film. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was incredible. I loved that film so much, which I know some people don't feel the same about that film, and I guess this is how I feel about Bugonia. So many of my mutuals on Letterboxd adore this film. So many people who saw this film adore this film, and I think that it is mid. I think that it's mid. I felt like my first initial take of it was very harsh, but on a second watch, I think that it is just mid to me. I think that it is so predictable. I saw everything coming. Even the ending where some people kind of leave it up to your own interpretation. I kind of saw both sides or both ideas that people are talking about. It's just very mid to me. Yes, I think that Emma Stone is acting her ass off as usual. I think the standout performance in Bugonia is Jesse Plemons. If anyone should be getting nominated for anything, it is definitely him. He absolutely tore this up. I think Jesse Plemons is the movie. Like, he is the one doing the most, and he definitely gave it his all. But I just think the plot is just not that strong. I don't think the big twist reveal is that strong. I think I'm tired of seeing Emma Stone with this director. I'm not gonna lie. I think that Emma Stone needs to give me something different next year. I hope whatever film she has planned or work she has planned in the future, it's a little bit different. I don't know. This was just not for me, but I do think that it's a beautiful film. Obviously, I was locked in at some points. Obviously, I see the symbolism. I do just think the poor things of it all, of me seeing how brilliant and smart and intentional that film was, it just wasn't the best feeling, and I just don't know if this film stands up for me. Like, is it going to be something that I remember? But I think it's one of those films that you kind of have to see yourself, because I feel it can work for some people and it can not work for some people. I think that's kind of the basis of this director's work anyway. So yeah, I didn't like Bugonia. I wish I did, though. I wish I did. I think it's such a cool concept. I just don't know if it was delivered well. I don't know if it's as intensely good as other people made it out to be to me. To me. This is my opinion. It's my opinion. Even though I know it's an adaptation of another film, but I think it's intentional that this is being chosen to be made today, especially with who Emma Stone's character is meant to represent. The idea of the working class and the worker bees, I get it all. I hate to be so simple about it. I just feel like when you're watching something that's touching on these themes, you just know when it's good. A lot of the moments just did not seem thought out to me. It just seemed thrown together, and I don't know if that's just how the original movie is, or if that was intentional, if it was supposed to have that type of flow. I think the biggest part for me is the dialogue. I think the dialogue is so simple, and so, which can work. It can work. I just don't think with this big of a theme and this big of a moment that it was sort of trying to give, that's what I was going and expecting, or what I enjoyed at all about the film. Like, I didn't enjoy it at all. If I had to sum up my thoughts about Bugonia, it would be that, yes, I enjoyed some of the antics that were going on. I enjoyed some of the imagery. It obviously has to do with the state that we're in right now. Just as I said before, it feels intentional that this was chosen. Dealing with capitalism and the working class, it just all felt empty. It felt like it was trying to have this huge conversation within the art, but in the end, the antics of it all felt empty. 3 stars. Die, my love. Lynn Ramsey. Grace, a writer and young mother, is slowly slipping into madness. Locked away in an old house in Montana, her increasingly agitated and erratic behavior leaves her companion Jackson worried and helpless. Here goes another movie that I am set up to enjoy. Jennifer Lawrence, absolutely. Robert Pattinson. You know anything about me, I love Robert Pattinson. In fact, one of my movies of the year is Mickey 17. Don't forget about her. Do not forget about her. Y'all try to forget about her. Y'all try to put her in the back seat. But Mickey 17 was, I think, his movie of the year. And this film is a lot. I did not enjoy Die My Love. I actually enjoyed it less than Bugonia. I didn't go in with any intentions on this film. I didn't know what it was about. I just knew that it was giving very erratic behavior from Jennifer Lawrence, and Robert Pattinson was in it, and that's it. And it had to do with something about a child. Do I think that this film touches on the idea of motherhood and being the perfect mother and kind of dealing with mental health and all of that stuff when it concerns motherhood and also relationships and things like that? Absolutely. But do I think that this film makes any sense? No, I do not. Before you go into this film, just know it is very artsy. It's one of those. Funny enough, I've been watching interviews with Jennifer Lawrence about this film, and she describes it as more so poetry, and that's exactly what it gives. And that's probably why I didn't connect with it as much, because I was looking for more substance instead of display, and that's what this was. Sort of like my critique of Bugonia, but I had more to latch on 2 with Bugonia. And I don't mind an artsy film. I just told you that I really enjoyed Poor Things. And I hope that this is not insulting. It might be, but it just felt like a bunch of edits of cinematic moments so that it can go together as an edit. Do I think that Jennifer Lawrence is doing a really good job in this role? Absolutely. In fact, I think that her acting is the strongest point of the film. I think that she eats up the screen. I think I could not take my eyes off of her. Rob is a little bit weak in this one. I'm not gonna lie. That's hard for me to admit. That's hard for me to admit because I love Robert Pattinson. But I actually did not really enjoy his performance in this film. And I just think that this is just, it's a nothing burger. It's a nothing burger. It touches on things. It does. But the ending made it worse for me. I think I actually would have given this movie a 3-star if the ending was not what it was. And I definitely understand what everything is supposed to represent. I understand. It's like these movies, when you have certain takes on them being mid or you're not enjoying them as much, a lot of people try to make it seem like you just don't get it. You just don't get it. Your brain isn't big enough. You're thinking like y'all just want to be entertained. Y'all just want to have fun. You can't really think like that. You're not intellectual. And that's absolutely not the case. I understand these themes. I think I'm exhausted with this type of filmmaking where everything is wrapped in a long shot, beautiful, erratic, artsy bow with popular actors who will get to that place that you need them to be, but the topics weaved throughout them isn't depicted with that much nuance or originality as people are deeming it to be. To me. When I sit down and watch a film like this, I want to be pulled into it by all aspects to where I don't feel as if it's a gimmick, but more like I just watched an artist enter flow state. Here's the thing. I think that this film could work if the editing was, I think it's the editing. I think the editing in this film is terrible. And that is why I did not like it. But again, Jennifer Lawrence is really good in this film. I think that it's beautiful. I think the color grading is beautiful. I think the cinematic parts were beautiful. I just don't think it makes sense as a whole film. It makes me sad though because it's two of my favorite actors working together for the first time and I did not like it. So 2.5. That makes me sad. FrankenStein. Guillermo del Toro. A brilliant but egotistical scientist brings a monstrous creature to life in a daring experiment that ultimately leads to the undoing of both the creature and his tragic creation. I don't even really have to say anything. It's a 5-star. It's a 5-star. I'm not even gonna wait. It's a 5-star. Like, are you kidding me? I think FrankenStein is one of my favorite movies in the last, I don't know how many years. I don't know anything about the classic novel of Frankenstein, but what I do know is that this film is beautiful. I love the dialogue. I love the performances. I loved FrankenStein, and that makes me so happy because I was waiting for this film since it was announced. My biggest shock in the whole entire film is Jacob Elordi. I did not think I would enjoy his performance as much as the creature, as the monster. And guess what? He was amazing. I think that he blew me away. I think that he was so believable and so intentional with some of his choices. So soft yet so monstrous. I just really, really enjoyed it. And don't get me started on Oscar Isaac, my kingy. Oscar Isaac is on my client list. That man knows how to act and he was acting. Everyone was just so good. The performances are good. The costuming is good. Now, I do see some people talking shit about the CGI and some of the things that were made to not be CGI actually looking terrible and all of that. And all I have to say is, I don't care. I don't care. I thought it looked really, really good. I usually don't care for film snob, film annoying ass people's takes, especially when it comes to how things look. I'm not a part of the saturation mob. Like, why are these films so less saturated? I'm not a part of that crowd. When I feel as if they're right, I'll give it to them. I actually just went to watch Wicked, and I think that movie looks terrible. And I saw people putting Wicked and FrankenStein in the same conversation where it's like these built full out sets, but they look terrible on camera. And I just don't agree. I don't think Wicked is touching this film by a long shot. I think people are very dramatic when it comes to how this film looks. I think it looks pretty good. I enjoyed a lot of the effects compared to a movie like Wicked for Good, which I enjoyed the first one, but the second one, oh my gosh, some of the harsh shadows, some of the lighting, some of the sets looking insane. Like, I can see a huge difference. So I kind of think some of the things said about the way this film looks is very insulting, because I think it's beautiful. Because I do not know about the novel, I didn't go in with some strict rubric about watching this movie. I just thought it was a amazing gothic film. I love the dialogue between the creature and FrankenStein and some of the intentional choices. I just think some of the discourse about this film is weird. I think some of the discourse about it is so weird. I think that some people kind of went into this already being nasty about it without actually giving it a chance, and I that's fine. More for me. I really enjoyed it. I thought everyone did a really, really good job. Now, do I think some aspects that people are praising are a little bit dramatic? Absolutely. Like Mia Goth's performance in it, it was okay. I don't think it's as stunning as people are trying to make it out to be. I thought it was pretty obvious that she was the mother, and everyone's like, I did not know. I think that's her X trilogy, nachos dipping in there where people think that she's really disappearing into a character, but I knew that was the mother. That wasn't really like gaggy to me. But yeah, everyone was acting. I really enjoyed how big this film felt, but so gross. Like, it was, I just loved all the aspects. I really feel like Guillermo took it there, and even though people have critiques for it, I thought it was excellent. I gave it 5 stars. If I had legs, I'd kick Mary Bronstein. With her life crashing down around her, Linda tries to navigate her daughter's mysterious illness, her absent husband, a missing person, and an increasingly hostile relationship with her therapist. Everything that I thought Die My Love was going to be for me, I got in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick. This film is about being an imperfect mother, but also being a human that is still trying. A human with so many people ignoring your wants and feelings, feeling like a failure, but still trying to get up during the day. It's just really one thing you're going to keep hearing me talk about as I go on with this channel and talk about films that I like and enjoy. I enjoy intentional details where you eventually see they mattered all along. And this film makes a particular choice that I think is so well thought out, and it makes the film hit even harder. Rose Byrne really just stole the screen. She was the main performance, and she showed that. I mean, every time she was on camera, it felt agonizing, but at the same time so intriguing that I could not look away. She was also funny. This is a emotional movie. This movie is emotional. It also gave me the vibes of Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think that there is so much imagery in this movie that matters. I thought that the main element, the main imagery in this film was so brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. I thought that it being a synonym to life, to the situation that Rose Byrne's character has to go through with their daughter. It was just amazing. I really enjoyed this film. I think that it is well written. Without Rose Byrne, I don't know if this film would really work, but because she is so good in it and she takes it there and she goes all out every single time, I feel like she could have reeled it in a little bit, but she doesn't. She goes all the way there, and it makes it so much better. So much so, I didn't even feel like A$AP Rocky was unnecessary. I actually enjoyed his character in the movie because she made him even more better. Like, she made everyone who's around her, supporting her in this film, better. She made their performances better, and that is what you need in a film like this. I thought it was so good. It was so good. I enjoyed it so much. My late night king, Conan O'Brien, is in this film, and I thought he did okay. I felt like he was a little bit nervous, but I thought he did okay. It does have to do with motherhood and a certain theme of motherhood in a situation that is so particular, but is so heartfelt. I'm not gonna lie, this movie made me happy that I do not have kids, and I don't know if I want them anytime soon after watching this. 4 stars, good food. Well, those are all my recent watches. Hopefully I didn't make too many people mad. I told y'all I'm so particular about what I like. Anyway, I'll be trying to do this every couple of months or so when I have enough movies to talk about. I also have some classics I want to talk about, some like old films I want to talk about, but I'll try to have a little push and pull of recent films and other films that I'm going back and watching, that whole thing. But yeah, it's been a fun couple of months of watching these films. I also have some other ones that I want to talk about, but they'll be getting their own little videos, so I'm really excited about that. As always, stay cute, stay quirky, and go to the movies because we all see what's happening in the news. I don't know how long that's gonna last.